Adam's memoir to bring it to the screen. And so, you know, we've been working on this. Well, I've just been working on this movie longer than most of you have been going to college. Any questions? Anybody have any questions for the film? For James?
Were you able to meet with Adam's family and like discuss how the movie?
Yeah, they were there. What week were they there for our shooting? It wasn't at the very beginning. It was like the second week.
Second week. I think it was the second week.
Yeah, we had dinner with them, and then they were they came to set, and it was actually a really cool and refreshing experience. I mean, the whole thing was kind of a whirlwind for me. I'm sure it was for everybody actually, but I think to have them there was sort of like a grounding experience. It was like a reminder that it is reality, and it was reality for them, and made it that much more important.
And he showed you how to box.
What's that?
Didn't he show you how to box?
Oh yeah. The speed bag scene was the screw was like really loose. Yeah. It was a tough speed bag.
Yeah, so I guess
it was a fickle speed bag, if you will. But yeah, Jimmy taught me how to tame it, I guess.
Yeah. Right here in this winter.
As an actor, what did you learn working with Danny Glover?
Oh man, I guess just how to be present all the time. That's a really good question. I feel like you're always like learning something from him, whether the camera's rolling or it's not. Just sort of like how to be, how to sort of carry yourself. Danny has this incredible ability to charm every single person that he meets, which I'm still working on. But whether the camera's rolling or not, he just is that he has that charisma, and he makes everybody around him feel important. And so I think that was something that I definitely was very in tune with, and hope to develop more as a human.
It just kind of fueled the Danny lore because he is such a legend and an amazing actor. Yeah. He came in and he did the whole bench scene in one take without straight, and it was amazing. He flew into a 4-page scene in one take, and it was just he sat there at lunch one day and took us through his entire career from 1978 to 2015, naming every producer and director he'd ever worked for in that entire time. So the man's memory is like a vault. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
And I have to say too, Jimmy James, was just like that as well. He made everyone feel special too. So the whole team felt so lucky to be working with two extreme pros who have tons of experience, but also were like the nicest people on set. There were no divas. It was like the most pleasant working experience ever because they would, people would come to set, they talked to everybody, and they shared what they knew, and they're both two of the most gracious human beings I've ever met.
I paid her to say that.
I didn't pay you enough to say that.
Anything else? Any other questions? Yeah.
As a whole, and I know as an actor you learn something from each role, but what did you take from this one specifically?
Man, really deep. They get a chair and just, I guess it's kind of interesting, like how I got into this one. It was very quick. Like I didn't have all that much time to sort of absorb everything that was happening, and so I think for me as an actor, as I guess professionally, I guess I took from it that I can do it. You know what I mean? Like I've never been in a film where I was literally in almost every single shot, and that's what this was, and it was a bit of a mountain to climb, but it was incredible. And I've worked with Ian and Asham, the directors, before, and so that really helped me a lot to know that I could trust them and that they trusted me. But yeah, I guess that's sort of what it was. It was like something that I didn't really know that I could do, and it was just like you take this leap of faith, you just jump and hope that somebody catches you, and I guess it was a really rewarding experience that way. I don't know.
I would ask.
You said it probably didn't make any sense. I don't even know.
When you read the script, James, what scene clinched the deal for you? What made you want to do that movie?
Probably the toilet scene. No, it was. That's what it was.
Yeah, no, it's amazing, and it's the most repulsive.
I think that's what I told you when I was like, I'm going to do this. Yeah. I was like, you guys are going for it, aren't you? You guys are really going for it. You're going to roll the dice. All right, I'm in.
And I think that's a testament to you as an audience, because We've screened this movie a few times now, and we only had one person ever walk out on that scene, so I think that's pretty amazing.
Our goal was at least 5 people.
Yeah.
Get to reach out.
What's the most important way that the movie deviates from the book?
Yeah, let's see. I guess the biggest derivative was the fact that he, in real life, wasn't necessarily going to buy the restaurant. He was interested in the idea of entrepreneurship. He was trying to find out if this is something he could do. He definitely wanted to get his hands dirty, wanted an honest job. But the idea, like the ticking clock, we kind of had to elevate that a little bit just for narrative purposes. But and then probably in real life, his wife was, well, she's pretty supportive. You know, she's supportive in the film. She's pretty supportive, but yeah, there's probably a few louder fights in real life, maybe.
I think it's funny because as we were developing the script and making it, Autumn was like, "There's no way she's going to sell that house. There's no way." I absolutely. And then I remember we were like, and Autumn said, "This is if you want to just wait a second. I sold my house for her own husband's business."
Yeah, we gave up the house for my husband's business. So I was like, I guess so. But I remember a lot more yelling involved. I remember a lot more yelling. Yeah.
Anything else? Right there.
Okay, so we'll give you a light question. Did you get to keep the shirt or the apron from Pop?
No, but I did.
Yeah. He shows up wearing this thing. I'm like, are you serious, man? I wore that thing for a month and I don't have it anymore.
It's in the mail. It's in the mail.
Anything else?
It's a silly question, but how many times did you have to do the toilet scene? Realistically.
How many times?
He did it cold.
It was more of like not. I don't really.
I mean, how many hours did he have to do?
Yeah, I don't really think it was
Oh,
like
that's-
sort of thing. It was just like, here's the
Ran
toilet, go.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you rehearse for something like that?
Well, we have to talk about Lauren too. Our production designer is about this foot tall. I mean,
She's like teeny little petite, like sweetest can be, sweetest person. She comes in big gloves and she's like, I've developed the matcher. That's what she called it. And the matcher, and we're like, what is it? And James didn't want to see it before he went in. So everything, that was his, I mean, it was fresh. Everything, your reaction was pretty.
Well, she meant it was all, you know, everything in there was hygienic and clean, and
Yeah.
it was actual like food, like Kit Kats and things like that. Things that wouldn't normally be delicious. But but I remember it actually smelled like stomach acid.
Yeah.
So literally just, it was like immediately there was a gag reflex.
Yeah, you're like, I'm
the
almost
sight
gonna puke. I'm
and
literally
then,
gonna
yeah,
puke.
so it worked.
she did a great job.
Was that your cameo in the teacher scene?
Yes. So we had a newscaster in the area all prepped to do that scene, and then last minute her agent got a little weird on us, and the guys were like, we got to shoot this because we were starting production the following week. They're like, who can do this? Like, we need like someone who's like, you know, like done pageants or like done like cheesy stuff like that. And they're all like looking at me like, that's not me. But I don't act. I will not be an actor. But I was like, I can do cheesy. Like, so we threw it together, borrowed my stepmom's shoulder pads, threw it in, and yeah, that was me. And yeah.
It was amazing.
Pretty much everyone had a cameo except our directors. They were too busy.
Yeah.
But that is one of the most fun things about making a film is seeing all the when you watch it, like knowing the stories of who that person is and why. There's a cameo of the real Jimmy. He's the greeter when he walks in the final restaurant to find Edward. He's the guy who greets him, and that's one of my favorite parts. Is like we kind of lingered on him for a second, so you could kind of see that's the real him. And then one of my favorite parts of the whole film process was getting to call the real Edward. His name is Robert, and he still works at a Waffle restaurant. And calling him and telling him that, because he was with me for years on this, like waiting for the film to get made, and getting to call him and say, "Guess who's playing you?" And Danny Glover, and he was so cute. He's at work. And he goes, "That's a rat. That's a rat. I like that. That's a rat." We're really excited because in a few weeks we get to go and do a screening in the actual town where the story took place. He's coming, and we're hoping Danny can come, and the real Jimmy will be there, so will James, and it's going to be a really fun reunion for everyone.
Yeah. Anything else? Yes.
Where did the story take place?
Oh, what was that? It was in North Carolina. Raleigh. There we go. Yeah. But we shot it in Utah. So, Lehigh, to be more specifically. And then one story about the restaurant I think is funny is that the restaurant owner rented us the restaurant, and then promptly took a 20-day vacation to Hawaii, the first vacation he'd ever taken. So that was a good little windfall for him.
Wait.
Oh, sorry, can't see. Yeah, right there.
So how does it go from book to movie? Is that something one of you chose, or someone else bring it to your attention, or?
Well, I mean, Autumn loved the book, knew it could be a movie, and wrote 40 drafts of the script, and had been all around Los Angeles trying to get it made for various ways. And then ultimately, they didn't pan out, and she's like, I don't care. Autumn's very passionate. She's like, I'm gonna make this movie anyways. And she had seen our previous film, and liked the work that Ian and I had done, so we all came in and we rewrote the script together. And then 6 months later, we were shooting it. So it was from
Slow to fast.
yeah, it went slow to immensely fast.
Yeah, and the reason, like, we didn't have our full funding till like the month before, so that's why amazing people like James are like, with a week's prep are coming on this I mean, it was like a scramble, but then it ended up being really cool. Like, the process was fun once we all got there.
Yeah, I mean, your work, it's an incredible amount of work. And I know James landed, we workshopped that thing for like 3 days, just grinding it out. And then he was shooting nonstop, and we worked a lot of hours. And I just want to say thank you, James.
Thank you.
You're doing an amazing job. All right, so we're gonna do a little trivia, and then we're gonna give away a couple items. We're gonna take one picture, and then we'll do unless no one has any more questions. All right, good. All right, so first one to raise their hand that I see, I'm gonna try not to be biased, has to answer this question correctly. And this is for a poster. How many questions on the Waffle Street application? Right there.
4.
4. Poster. How?
Index card.
What model car is James driving in the beginning? Poster. We're gonna look up top now. Let's burn up this.
I believe it's pronounced Audi.
Audi. We're rounding up.
Half closer.